In the know.
Good evening, everyone.
In the know.
Tony Reeves, fire. Following the news in any way, shape, or form. No shortage of things to talk about. What does it mean? What will it bring? Is this a reality we simply have to accept? Tony Reeves, fire. Tony Reeves. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Q&A Social Security Disability Today. We're talking about your step-by-step guide to understanding your disability hearing notice, that notice of hearing that you got in the mail with all the paperwork telling you about your hearing coming up. I want to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about part 3, which is submitting evidence and reviewing your file. All right. When you're applying for disability benefits, I've said this a million times, but you bear the burden of proving you're disabled. About a year or so ago, Social Security basically amended the regulations that says that you bear the burden of submitting all evidence relating to your case in terms of medical evidence, and you bear the burden of letting them know about what evidence that you have out there. So what's that mean? What you want to do is any evidence, typically is medical evidence that you have, or any evidence that relates to your disability, you must bring it and submit it to the Social Security Administration. That means medical records. That means if by some reason you were fired from your job because of medical problems, employment statements or employment records. If you were disciplined because of your medical condition, disciplinary records. Statements from family, friends, and people who have seen you. You want to make sure that Social Security is aware of all of this information and you must submit it to them. Also, if you know about what records that you have that are out there, you need to bring it to Social Security's attention. That means if there are doctors out there who are treating you for your condition, Social Security is going to want to know, and they provide you forms that addresses this, the name of the doctor, the address, phone number, treating dates, and whatever they're treating you for. You want to make sure Social Security is completely aware of all the evidence that's out there relating to your medical condition, because remember, you bear the burden of proving you're disabled. So you want to make sure Social Security is not only provided this information, but is made aware of what additional information that may be floating out there that you were not able to get. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about reviewing your file as well as submitting medical evidence as part of our ongoing series talking about the step-by-step guide to understanding your disability hearing notice.
Under the Social Security regulations, representatives are permitted to practice before the administrative agency anywhere in the country, which means that when you're looking for a representative, you can find someone who doesn't necessarily have to be in your state if you're just going before the administrative agency. So it's possible to have an attorney or representative who's from Utah, even though you may be in Georgia. And our office is actually no different. So if you're wondering which states we cover, check this out. Now, the tricky part is once you have to sue the Social Security Administration. Under that situation, you want to have an attorney that's representing you in your jurisdiction. So if you have a representative who's in another state and you've gone all the way to the Appeals Council and you've been denied and you want to sue the Social Security Administration, make sure you ask that representative whether or not they can sue someone in that particular state.
Glad to have you back. Reviewing your file. People, I can't stress this enough. This is probably one of the most important parts of this whole process, is reviewing your file. You want to know what Social Security has. You really do. You want to know. Do not sit here under this guise of believing that they got all the information and that they just clearly got this wrong. You got to treat it as if there are some things in your file that's missing. Not because Social Security failed to get it. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that there may be some evidence that was not obtained because the doctors didn't release it, or maybe the request got caught up, whatever the case may be. But you need to make sure you get your hands on this. So what you want to do is you need to review your file. Now, back in the good old days, way back in the day, and everything was paper and we were killing trees for a living, you could actually schedule a time with Social Security to go in and copy your file. If your file is electronic, you need to ask for a CD. not only do you need to ask for a CD, they'll probably provide you with the information that you need in order to open the CD accordingly. But you want to ask for the CD. When you get that CD is going to be probably broken into like 5 categories. It'll be section A, which talks about the disability determinations portions of it. B, which is your applications. D, which is usually related to your earnings, okay, and the actual application itself, things like that. E, which is disability related, which is like forms related to disability report forms that you filled out and so forth. And then F is the big section. That's where all your medical records are. When you're looking through this bad boy, if you don't have a clue what you're looking at, you need to ask for help. I cannot stress that enough. If you're looking at it and you're not sure what the hell am I reading, don't be around here looking crazy. If you don't know what you're looking at, ask for help. Now, confirm if. Now, here's the thing. A couple other things that you need to be aware of. Try not to wait till the day of the hearing to review your file for the first time. This may seem really silly, but when you get your notice of hearing, it's usually going to probably be about a month out, because they usually give you about a 20-day heads up before the hearing. Get the file well in advance for 2 reasons. 1, so you can review it, so you can update the file. Secondly, and 2, if by some reason you decide to hire a representative, you can give them a copy of that file so they can see what's in there and let you know what is helpful, what is harmful, and what's more is needed. Try not to say, well, I'll just review the file the day of the hearing, because you'll be scrambling, especially if you go there and you realize, oh my gosh, they don't have this. Now, some of you are probably sitting here saying, well, why can't I just, take the evidence with me when I get there? Sure, you could do that. I'm just telling you that it may be in your best interest to look at the file in advance so that you know. Trust me, because if you get there and you realize even the information you brought is not enough, you may need more time. Why would you want to add more time to the process? Find out what you have in there now and then supplement it, so this way when you go before the court, they have everything and they can make a decision on your case. Also, if you have gotten a CD in advance or maybe gone and copied the file, find out if the file is going to be made available to you. Remember, Social Security is electronic, so there's a good chance that the file may not be there, or they may not make it readily accessible to you. Ask them, especially if it's a video hearing and the judge is in another state. That file might not be there. So you want to find out if the file is going to be made available to you for you to review when you get there. Also, if you need help getting file records or medical records, you need to let Social Security know very early in advance so they can get them for you. Hear me when I say this again. If you know that you're having problems getting records, let's say you went to the hospital and they're giving you some jamming invoice for like $600-700. You can't afford it. You need Social Security to get those records because they're very relevant based on whatever your condition is. Don't sugarcoat. Ask for it in advance. So when you get your notice of hearing and you reviewed the file and you know that there's something missing and it's not there and you can't get it, send a letter telling them who, what, where, when, and why. What hospital or doctor's office, how long you were there, what they were treating you for, address, phone number, and get that to them as soon as possible, telling them that you need help. Trust me, the sooner you do this, the better. That's it for today. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you check us out on Thursday as we talk again on Step 4, Part 4. And we're talking a little bit about what issues Social Security will consider right here on Q&A, Social Security Disability Today.
I want to thank all of you for engaging in the videos. Make sure you take the opportunity to send me any comments or send me any particular questions that you want me to have addressed here. As you know, this show is for you, and so the only way I can make sure that I can provide you some good information is if you provide me some good questions. Keep them coming, and right here on Q&A, Social Security Disability Today.